So what's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 2, Episode 14. So we pick up where we left off with Miss Wanda chasing Melody down, and Letitia chasing after her, telling her, Mama, you're not her daughter. You're not her mother, Mama. Why are you chasing her? And basically, Melody, I'm going to give Melody credit for being very respectful and staying respectful in that moment and trying her best to ignore Miss Wanda as respectfully as she could. Destiny comes and check on Melody, and Melody is like, girl, I'm about to get up out of here. I don't have the energy all the time. And Destiny was like, well, girl, if I ain't leave my keys over there, I'd be out too. Melody said, girl, we can come back and get your car. And I'm thinking, okay, but typically it's more than just, but okay. Anyway, they left. So we get back to the thing, and Miss Wanda is still talking. And Kimmy is basically like, Miss Wanda, can you please, like, this is about Jalen. Like, it's not about Melody. It's not about Martell. It's about Jalen. So can we get back to celebrating Jalen? I ain't trying to trash Jalen's event, but at the same time, she said, no, there is no at the same time. I asked you to not, to let it go. Like, I asked you to stop. Well, I just want to say, and she was like, it's nothing to say. Well, Kimmy, you can't stop me from talking. Kimmy was like, you know what? You're right. I can't stop you from talking, but... And then she started packing up, like, but I'm done. Like, I'm done with this. And Letitia's like, well, I'm sorry, this is getting real disrespectful. This is real disrespectful. And she even go tell Marceau, well, you need to stop, because you in the same boat. If you don't stop, like, again, at this point, let me say this. I ain't saying that Marceau has been faithful to Letitia, because I don't know nothing about their marriage. But what I am going to say is that if Marceau got 20 women's floating around Huntsville, he has done a damn good job of keeping them quiet. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And at this point, you just need to stop talking about it. But her and Kimmy, and I give Kimmy credit. She stood her ground, and she was like, "No, we're not. We're not getting ready to have a conversation about it. We're not getting ready to talk about it. We're not getting ready to go nowhere. This is about my son, and if this ain't about my son and his graduation, then I don't want to talk no more about it. Like, that is it. That is all. We good." So Kimmy meets with Marceau. And basically, Kimmy tells Marceau, listen, at this point, her mom wasn't invited. And I don't feel like, she wasn't invited for a reason. And all that what I was trying to avoid is what ended up happening. And, I'm tired of it. And Letitia really needs to talk to her mother. Like, this isn't, like, because at this point, I didn't invite her. And Letitia needs to talk to her mother about, her mother's behavior and all of that. And, Marceau was like, well, I'll talk to Letitia. She was like, okay, well, you can talk to Letitia, but I'm just telling you, like, I'm done with this whole situation. Like, I'm over it. I'm tired of it. This is what Miss Wanda does. And she said, but it's okay. We ain't got to worry about it no more, because Miss Wanda is just not, she just won't be invited to any more events. And I'm going to make it clear that I don't want her there. So Marceau was like, so you banning her from coming? She was like, I ain't banning her from nothing. I'm just saying she can't come to no more of my events. Now, I can't stop her from doing nothing else around these parts. But when I'm having something that I'm hosting, I'm going to make it very clear that Ms. Wanda is not invited. Period. In the discussion. So Destiny is planning an event, a get out the vote event / Halloween party, in the parking lot of her business. Martell rose up while she's meeting with her planner, to put the things in order. Martell rose up, and they end up having a conversation about his behavior down to the graduation party. And Martell did what Martell always does. He want to keep flipping it back on Melody. Melody cheated on me a long time ago, but nobody want to care about that. Nobody want to hear about that. They always want to make this about me. And Destiny was like, Martell, you've got to stop. You've got to stop making this a tit for tat. You've got to stop turning this into, you say this, so I'm going to say that. At the end of the day, it's your behavior. Because he said something about Melody trying to stop deals for him. See, y'all see how stuff gets twisted up in Martell's head? And now, again, I can only go by what they're showing us on camera. I don't know about nothing else, but let's just go by what they're showing us on camera. The developer said that they don't want to put you on, that they don't want to make you the face of this this building, this development anymore because of things that are out there. And in your mind, Melody is trying to stop you from making deals. It's not. It's not what happened. Again, I'm only going by what's on camera now. If other things happen off camera, I can't talk about what I don't know. He did apologize. He did admit that he was wrong for the situation with Miss Wanda, and that, you know, he was wrong about that. And Destiny was like, "Oh my gosh, Martell is apologizing for something." And then Martell did the same thing Letitia does. Well, it sounds like you taking Melody's side, and Destiny was like, "It's not that I'm taking Melody's side at the end, but at the end of the day, I can see things in a way that you're not seeing them, like a way you're not looking at stuff. Like I can see it the way it is, and you are only seeing it obviously through your own lens because you are always right in your mind, child." Then he started going off on this whole tangent about women. Y'all want to be able to do whatever y'all want to do, but when it comes to business, y'all want to be on the same level. Don't even make no sense what you're saying. And when Destiny asked for clarity, he couldn't give her no clarity. Either he couldn't give her no clarity because at that point he realized how dumb he was sounding, or he couldn't give her any clarity because in the midst of talking, he just was talking and he ain't had no, and it didn't make no sense what he was saying, and he couldn't explain it because it was no rhyme or reason to it, so he couldn't explain it. He wouldn't go any further. He wouldn't give any further explanation, and at that point, you know, what else do you say? But he was trying to go off on this whole tangent about a woman's place, is where I believe he was going. He was like, "Well, you need to ask your husband. You need to ask your husband what I mean by a woman's place. What I mean by a woman's place." Martell and Tisha are having a conversation. Martell is trying to explain to Tisha why it was wrong for her to invite her mother to the event and why people don't want her mother around. She talking about something. She want to add a mother-in-law suite to their new house. And Marcel was like, "Yeah, no, we got 10 acres. We can just build her a house that she can go. When she want to come visit you, she'll have her own place, but she don't have to be in our house. Like, we don't need it." And Letitia talking about something. "When I need somebody to have my back and have my support, then my mother can come and stay with us." Girl, bye. So then they were talking about how long the house is going to take. He was like, "It's going to take a couple of years because we're clearing ground. Like, this isn't just like the process that they have to go through is a process." And so he was like, "This isn't just like an overnight thing that's going to happen and it's going to be done. Like, this is a process we're putting in place." So he was telling her, "Listen, Kimmy basically is at a point where she doesn't want to invite your mom to any more events because of the way your mom acted." And Tisha just can't hear it. She just can't. She can't hear it. All she hears is, you know, Kimmy don't want my mom around. Kimmy don't want my mom around. And she was like, "Well, they talked it out last year and I thought they had cleared everything up, so I thought it was okay." Here's the reality of the situation. Kimmy and your mom could be best friends. But if Kimmy didn't invite your mom to that event, it wasn't your place to invite your mom to that event. Especially without talking to Kimmy first. You know what? All you had to do was pick up the phone and say, "Kimmy, is it okay if my mom comes?" And then let Kimmy say yes or no. But for you to just take it upon yourself to invite somebody and add a +1 to a situation that you didn't have permission to add +1 to, even if your intentions were pure, all you had to say was, "You know what, Kimmy, my bad. I didn't think it was going to be a problem." But the fact that you are doubling down and you trying to make it seem like everybody else is wrong except for you. Like, you even said to Marceau, "I feel like you taking Kimmy's side." And he was like, "What are you talking about? This isn't about me taking her side. It's about you understanding what I'm trying to tell you. And you're the one that doesn't want to take any responsibility for what you did, what you didn't do, and your part in all of this." It's just, I can't with Letitia. I can't. I cannot. And in her mind, she is convinced that that Kimmy hasn't been there for her. And, you know, it's just, girl, I don't know. I don't know what you want from Kimmy. I mean, I just don't know what you want from Kimmy. You know, well, I do know what you want from Kimmy, but what you want from her isn't fair. You basically want Kimmy to not be friends with anybody but you. She can't be friends with Destiny if you ain't friends with Destiny. She can't be friends with Melody if you ain't friends with Melody. She can't be friends with Marceau and part of her, I understood that she felt like, why did Kimmy go to Marceau before she came to me? Like that part, I do understand. That part I understand. Anyway, moving on. Melody is talking to her brother. She's talking to Marcus. She's moving in her own house. You know, she's moving into the new house, and they're pulling up carpet, and they're doing some things, and you know, she's happy, and you know, happy with the the progression of the new house and stuff. So she starts talking to Marcus about Marceau and how hard Marceau has been making. I mean Martell, excuse me, and how hard Martell has been making things as far as the divorce and co-parenting or whatever. And she tells him a story about the kid saying something to her about this Uncle Marcus like boys because that's what Daddy said. And Melody was like, I felt some kind of way about that because first of all, why would you talk to our kids about that? Like that's a conversation that we're gonna have that conversation. Let's have that conversation as a family. Second of all, it's not a problem. It's nothing wrong. Like you've been really good to us. You've been really good to the kids. You and your husband, y'all have a great relationship. Like it's not a situation. She Marcus got upset and he was like, well, I'm gonna talk to him. I'm gonna talk to Martell because I don't really appreciate that. And he has a right to be upset. But later on at the Halloween party, him and Martell end up dressing in the same costume, which I'm thinking, are we? Because Destiny was dressed up as, well, she said Catwoman, Marceau said Batgirl, but Kimmy showed up in a cat suit too. So I was like, how Marceau and Marcus in the same damn costume and the ladies show up in the same, like, were y'all limited? Was there only one Halloween store open in Huntsville because of the corona? Like, what the hell? But Marcus approached Martell, and here's the thing. I don't have a problem with Marcus being upset. I don't even have a problem with Marcus approaching Martell. I do have a problem with how he did it. This is me, y'all. This is me. I personally feel like he could have come at Martell from a different angle, basically saying, I heard what you said, and I didn't really appreciate you talking to your kids about me and my husband. That's a conversation. Clearly I'm not ashamed of who I am, but that's a conversation that we could sit down and have together. The way it came back to Melody was almost like you were saying something was wrong with me and my husband and our relationship. And I wish, we could have had a different conversation. But the way you came at it was, well, my kids said that they want my husband to be their daddy, that they want him to be their new daddy. That was mean. That was a low blow. And I don't blame Martell for reacting the way he reacted. I understand what Marcus was trying to do, but I feel like, and it may have been edited out, I'll be clear, but I feel like a better conversation would have been to come from a different angle and then bring it back around to that. I don't know. I just, again, I don't blame Martell for his reaction. I really don't, honestly. Like, no man wants to hear that. Well, so-and-so wants, my kids said that they want so-and-so to be their new daddy. And I was just like, I don't know. I didn't like it. I know y'all gonna disagree with me. That's fine. But I didn't like it. I didn't like the way he did it. I didn't have a problem with him approaching Martell. I just didn't like the way he chose to do it. Anyway. So we have the mommy podcast situation with Destiny, Kimmy, and Letitia. First of all, Kimmy showed up like she ain't won't be there. She was late. She was dragging in, and she really was like, look, let's just get this over with. Like, I feel like Kimmy really ain't won't be there, okay? Because I feel like Kimmy could smell the bullshit when she opened up the door. So Destiny was there with Kimmy, with Letitia. And Letitia was like, I can still have Kimmy on the podcast because I can keep it professional. We don't need to talk about our drama, blah, blah, blah. But as soon as the door cracked open, and Letitia saw her opening to bring up what happened at the brunch, baby, she did. And they proceeded to have a whole argument in the middle of the podcast about Wanda coming to the party. Now Letitia is upset that Wanda is there. That Kimmy talked to Marceau about it, And of course, the whole "you were rude to my mom" situation. So Kimmy was like, first of all, Marceau brought the conversation up to me. He initiated the conversation. I just responded to to what he wanted to know. So I didn't go to Marceau having this conversation. Marceau came to me. Number two, you keep wanting to start in the middle of the story, meaning you feel like I was rude to your mom at the party. But the beginning of the story is your mother wasn't invited. Had your mother not been there, none of the other stuff would have happened. And Letitia was like, yeah, but you was still mean to her. Kimberly was like, and I'm okay with that. Because she shouldn't have been there. Like, you're missing the point. The point is, if your mother, what they say, but for the fact that your mother came uninvited, nothing else would have happened. I used this example earlier today on my live. That's like if I have a pool party and I don't invite you, but you show up to the pool party uninvited and someone throws you in the pool and you ruin your phone and you want me to replace your phone. But for the fact that you showed up to a party you wasn't invited to, your phone wouldn't have ended up at the bottom of that pool. I don't owe you shit. Anybody tell you come. You weren't invited. You weren't on the guest list, ma'am, sir. So my thing is, you keep wanting to start there instead of taking responsibility for the fact that you invited your mother. And you waiting for Kimmy to say something that she ain't gonna say. She said, well, I thought you and my mom cleared everything up when y'all talked, you know. And Kimmy was like, that's what your mother got out that conversation? Because I walked away from your mother. Like, we never. And again, even if they had resolved it, even if they had skipped off singing Kumbaya holding hands, it still doesn't matter because Kimmy didn't invite her. Kimmy didn't invite her. I don't understand what you're not understanding, Letitia. And honestly, with every episode, it gets worse and worse with you. It really does. It gets worse and worse. And you are really coming off as a whiny, insecure woman. And that ain't cute. And you better than that, Letitia. I know you are. I don't know what it is that has you so in your feelings about this. I don't know what it is. But you better than this. You are better than this, girl. Anyway. The other thing was the guys are going to go on a camping trip. That's setting up next week's episode, y'all. Other than that, ain't too much go down. That was pretty much it. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Talk in the comments. Peace.